Hey guys, welcome to episode 15 of the TST Industries Yamaha R3 Superbike build. We have an action-packed, fun episode for you. Before I get into any current ongoings, I want to briefly touch on last week and why we didn't have an episode. We sort of made it a pattern to have an episode every week, yet last week we didn't launch an episode for you guys, and you might be wondering why. We've been having a lot of rain, and the weather patterns have been very erratic, and we just didn't have time where we could commit to go to the track and collect the next episode's footage. So we had to wait it out. At the same time, we were making some modifications to the engine. We actually changed the cam degree quite a bit. We gave the bike a little bit more cam overlap, and we wanted to test what that does. We also had that pesky stumble off on gas. We needed to tune that out. And during the time that we weren't able to do anything with the bike outside of the shop, we were working hard to get it all together and tuned and ready for the track. And we actually got to the track last weekend. And for that event, the goals were to test out our newly built TST Industries triple clamp system. We wanted to make sure that we could get that stumble out of the power delivery. We wanted to test what the new cam degree would do for us, and start tuning a little bit more and get more comfortable on the bike. And also I wanted to see how this bike stacks up against bigger bikes, so we ran it in advanced sessions, and we're able to have some good battles with some bigger bikes. All that's coming up, so stay tuned. Right now I just want to touch on a couple technical aspects of what we were able to accomplish. We got rid of the stumble. We have smooth power delivery now. The cam degree that we put in the motor this time did not work very well. The bike actually felt weaker, and my consistent lap times were slower than my previous tests' consistent lap times. I did manage to improve my best lap time by close to 0.2 of a second, so that's pretty good, but the bike really made me work hard for it. I think that the suspension components pass. I am really pleased with how that came out. I was able to feel more grip in a deep lean, where the forks were able to flex just a little bit more in this plane. So the rubber was able to stick to the ground better in really deep lean conditions. Other than that, I didn't notice a significant difference in any other orientations of the bike. I do want to try a couple things on the next iteration of this design, but I'm already seeing that it really does what it's meant to do. I'm really pleased with this part. I think we're gonna make a couple changes, spit it a couple more, anodize them, and get them around to some of our racers to fully test them before we decide whether or not to launch to the general public. Stay tuned on that. We will know more about that later on in the season. For now, I'll leave that alone. What else can I say? These Pirelli tires that we've been using, I'm really pleased with them. Last year we used Michelin and Dunlop, and they were good tires. I think I like the Michelins a little bit better, but these Pirellis are really awesome. And I actually tried a different compound on the rear this time, and I know that it really varies from track to track and condition to condition, but the SC2 compound on the rear really worked nicer for me. The tire felt less squishy, and I felt less wobble while accelerating out of corners. The entire package really proved itself to be more stable the way we have it tuned now. I was able to really drag the brakes into corners really deep, pretty much to the apex, and then just start applying the gas right away. And the bike was a dream to ride. The only thing that I would really wish for this last test was to have the old cam degree in there. So for the next test, we will back off the cam degree to the last setup, or perhaps we may even go back the other way a little bit and test that. I'm also thinking of decking the head a little bit more. I want to get a little bit more squish in the combustion chamber, produce a little bit more compression, and get more torque and more horsepower that way. And for now, I'd like to invite you guys to hop on board with us and enjoy our view from the last event. Here we go.